Hello everyone, you're watching Newcastle United Life and Times YouTube channel. My name's Rob Britt and today we're joined by Paul and Len to discuss Newcastle's 1-0 home victory over Brentford yesterday. And Paul, I must congratulate you. You were pretty accurate on your forecast the other day about the starting line. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Never doubt me, son. Never doubt me.
But yes, very well done. But Paul, we'll come to you in a moment. We'll let Len start the show off today and to give us his analysis and opinions and so on. Right, Len, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I watched the match at 7 o'clock this morning. I was out last night, so I watched the full match. First time I've probably ever done it, where I've watched the full match, full 90 minutes, and it wasn't the best. Wasn't the best 90 minutes I've ever seen. Poor game, and in fact, in the first half, I think it was poor. I think both teams cancelling each other out. It was a close game, not many chances created. Obviously, 0-0 half time. I was actually surprised to see Eddie Howe make so many changes. When I saw the team sheet, I thought, good, good on you. You've made 4 or 5 changes here, but I hope it works. And ultimately it did. Second half, a lot better. I thought we picked up the pace a little bit, looked a bit like the old Newcastle United going forward. And, I'm going into those penalties. The first one, the penalty that was awarded that we were given, I'm not sure. I would have hated that to have been given if it was the other way around. I think it was a harsh penalty, but obviously Wilson scored it. I thought later on when we could have got a penalty, I think that was possibly more of a penalty, but now I've looked at it 2 or 3 times and I think the referee made the right decision, or VAR made the right decision for the handball. I don't think it was a penalty. And the disallowed goal, the goal should have stood. There was nothing wrong with it at all. So at the end of the day, 3 points is all that matters. We needed it. We spoke about it last week that we had to win the game with a big game or couple of games coming up in next week. So job done. He made the changes. The players that came in did all right, and I think the good thing about it, the key thing I picked up on it really was looking on the bench. I think 8 or 9 players on the bench that would just walk in the starting 11. So I think moving forward, we've got the squad is significantly better than it was last season. So 3 points, happy days.
Very good. Paul?
Yeah, I think Len summed it up pretty well there. I think the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I thought they were the better side, I thought. We came into it a little bit once that lad got injured, that Rico Henry, because he was causing a few problems on the left. But as the game went on, second half, I thought we would come out much stronger. I think he would have kicked our arse half time because we don't look the same side at the minute. Second half, the changes he made, I thought the new lads, coming in, I thought Anderson did well in patches. Obviously, we lost a bit of strength in the middle with Joe Linton, but Anderson's very good technically, I think. Harvey Barnes had a better second half. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's just something at the minute that's just not quite right for me. But I suppose 3 points is 3 points, isn't it? If you win when you're not playing well, then that bodes well. But going back to the decisions, I thought that referee had a nightmare. That Pawson, he was terrible. I mean, I think he only gave with a penalty because he realised he cocked up with the first one. Because how he can disallow, and when it went to VAR, fair enough, he's disallowed it. He thought he'd seen a push. What have they seen there? The goalkeeper's got to be stronger. I agree, yeah. I thought that was poor decision, that. And then I don't think the handball was a penalty, but I think that the one he did give, I think if you watch closely, I think that Hickey gives him a slight touch and he goes into the keeper. I think he's caught by Hickey and the goalkeeper's momentum carries him on. And I think Gordon cleverly left his leg there as well to get the penalty, which all good strikers do, don't they? I think 3 points is the main thing. I think it was
3 points is the main thing. But I was speaking to my brother-in-law today, and he's probably quite right. I think people of our era watch that and will basically say, "Well, neither of them are penalties. They're not penalties." A young person would watch that and say they're both penalties. We're watching a different game to what we grew up with, and we've got it. It's all about you know, the way the game's played now. We've had seasons in the recent past where we hardly won a penalty from first match to the last match, but it's costing you games. So it's basically, they're obviously training to, like, if you're in this situation, then you must go down and try and win a penalty, because if you don't, you're at a disadvantage. So I think I don't really agree with that, but it is part of the game now, isn't it, Paul?
Oh yeah, it's definitely part of the game. But I think that part of that person, I think he's one of our better officials, and we're really in trouble, aren't we? I thought he was dreadful. Anyway, Rob, what did you?
I'm just listening to what you're saying, and I can't disagree with anything. I think he's been spot on, hit the nail right on the head. What concerned me a little bit when the whistle went was the fact that we got to go through a penalty, because I think, did we ever look like scoring from open play, really, did we?
No.
If truth be known.
Just a Bruno chance, really, when he should have scored the header.
Oh, that was a good chance, wasn't it? You can't afford to miss him. And I think Wilson had a good game. I think he was man of the match, and he was isolated, but he never stopped running. I think, you know, then penalties, I think it's 12 out of 12 now. You know, cracking, but it is a bit of a worry when you have to rely on a penalty to win a home game against you know, I suppose an average Premiership side.
Well, they were unbeaten though, Len. They scored 8 goals and they were unbeaten, so I think it is quite a good result for them.
Yeah, and I think, looking back, I think that have good finish to the season as well. So, but I think all you see now is you just see Newcastle United have won the game, and it keeps us sort of. I think had we lost the game, you know, the league table would have looked pretty poor. You know, going into the next fixtures.
And I think Longstaff
penalty then, isn't it?
Yeah, good job. Yeah.
Didn't he? Longstaff made a difference coming in. I think Bruno looked a better player alongside him as well. He does the running for him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think you was talking about Anderson before. I think he played a bit. I prefer to see Anderson further forward, and I think he had quite a lot of defensive duties yesterday, which sort of restricted what he was able to do. I think if he starts he needs games, and if he can start get a few games, I'd much prefer to see Anderson in a more advanced position.
He likes the left side, doesn't he? He sort of hugs the left side, Anderson. He drifts towards that, doesn't he?
How many left-sided midfielders have we got?
I know, that's what I mean. We need him in the 3, then we've got them 3. We can't play him like as a winger, really.
Yeah.
Unless he changes the shape, like.
I mean, I don't think any of the players that came in seized their opportunity to sort of say, yeah, I should be in that team over the players that have been left out for one reason or another. I don't think any of them.
Although
really
Wilson did well then. I thought Wilson sort of staked his claim a bit, didn't he? I thought he played well.
I did.
Yeah, I think Wilson will be. Wilson probably is the exception to that, and his goal scoring record continues.
He's one off Ferdinand. Is it Ferdinand's records? It's scoring. He's one off. Aye.
He's got 40 odd now. I think he's got a goal nearly every 2 games, hasn't he?
This is where we need the stat man, isn't it?
I heard. How is he? Is he on the road to recovery?
I'm not sure. I don't know where he is.
For those viewers who don't know who we're talking about, obviously there's only 3 of us on the last few episodes. I think he's gone AWOL, hasn't
he? Again.
I think he's got locked in one of them tannin booths.
So anyway, our score predictions didn't. Well, I was probably the closest, because I said that we would win 2-0 and it was 1-0.
Did I not have 1-0?
No, you had 3-1.
Well, that's close enough.
So
not really.
I've still got the paper here. Just there it is. I didn't even see it there. So it was. Look, at the end of the day, when the sun sets, it's 3 points on the board, and that's all that matters. Like you hit the nail on the head there before, Len. It was a shit game. Let's be honest, it was shit.
Poor game, yeah.
Very poor. Nowhere near to the levels that we can be. Having said that, though, we weren't as bad as what we were the previous game. So that is one consolation, because I think could we have gotten any worse than the Brighton game?
Yeah, but it's
Rob,
we're different at home, aren't we, though?
Yeah, but you've just got to look at Brighton's performance yesterday.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that.
Puts our result into perspective.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Because they've only gone to Man United and done a job on them, a really good job on them.
I couldn't believe it when I seen the scoreline. I was like, bloody hell. That's
brilliant.
We
didn't do too bad, did it?
Did he not change about 6 or 7 players from the
team?
I did. Us as well.
I did.
And Ferguson wasn't even playing.
I think their whole team, I should have checked closer, but I'm sure on Twitter somebody was their whole team was only cost about 25 million, the whole team they put out yesterday against Man United.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a Brighton B team beat Man United. So happy days.
It's great seeing them struggle, isn't it?
Fantastic, isn't it? Love it.
I mean, they just don't look like a team, them, do it?
You love
At
it,
least
no.
when you watch us occasionally, we do look like a side. We can't hit it off, but they just look so lost, don't they? I can't see him like Christmas, mate.
No, and he thinks their manager thinks they're playing well. The previous match, he came out and said they played well. I mean, Craig, if I was a supporter, I wouldn't want my manager coming out saying that.
No.
Right, lads. So, good 3 points yesterday, and huge game coming up on Tuesday night. How exciting!
Oh, yeah,
for that one.
they got beat 5-1 last night, didn't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I recorded that match. I don't think I'll be watching it all. I'll have a look at the goals. I don't know what the state of the Italian league is, or how they're doing, or whether they have a good squad, a bad squad. I don't know that much about them. So it'll be interesting to see how we'll do manage, because I think we're in reasonable shape going into Tuesday's match.
I think we'll do okay. I honestly do.
Yeah, I do.
I think we'll do fine. We've got players that can, on my day, we can hurt any team on my day. And you've got to be confident and full of optimism going over there.
Well, they'll need to bounce back, won't they? They'll have to bounce back in front of their own fans, because if we get a goal, they'll be straight on their back after getting beaten at Derby 5-1, won't they?
The thing is, Paul, I mean, I don't know whether they did, but I mean, they wouldn't be resting players, would they, yesterday? And in a Derby match.
That team, I think they played probably their first 11, like. Just
the
advantage. They're on a much better side at the minute.
No, but the advantage we've got, I think, is when you look at that bench, we've got fresh legs, and it was good to see Eddie Howe not using subs unnecessarily yesterday. He kept it to an absolute minimum, so that was almost a case of saying, well, there's going to be 2 or 3 of these players on the bench possibly going to start on Tuesday night, and they'll be completely and utterly fresh. So I think it bodes well for getting a positive result on Tuesday.
The only thing I thought he might have done yesterday, I thought he might have given Isaac the last 10. Because they were pushing forward, and I thought he would have got in behind a few times, wouldn't he? I thought he would have, but he obviously is saving them for Tuesday. If he had to come on and got an injury, then we would have went, well, why is he going on?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I never touched the centre mid. The lad next to me said, why is he not making changes? I said, well, the last home game, we made a couple of changes, and it went, tits up after that. Once Gordon and Tonali went off. So if it's not broken, I just keep it like the way it is.
Do you think you start on Tuesday with Isaac, Paul, do you?
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't had it confirmed yet, but yeah.
Well, I think Isaac, when you're looking at European games, you can see Isaac, being in there. You can see Tonali coming into the team, and possibly one of that change somewhere. You could get Miggy back in there somehow. So you can see 2 or 3 changes, and I think Isaac would be, in that type of game, would give you more overall, from a skill factor point of view. Obviously, Callum Wilson will be good if he doesn't start, but nothing to stop him coming off the bench and scoring the winner.
Well, Miggy will come as well, won't he? Miggy's energy on the right, I think, for an away match, high intensity. I think he'll come straight back in. Yeah,
you'd probably take, Barnes had a good second half, but you'd probably leave Barnes on the bench and move Gordon back to the left, Miggy on the right. So I think it'll be a fresh starting 11. Be freshened up with the players that didn't play yesterday.
Same back 4, and I think Tonali will come in for Anderson.
Yeah, agree.
Right, lads. What I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to do a score prediction for Tuesday.
Yeah,
and we'll start with you first, Paul. Score and goal
prediction for Tuesday.
Yeah,
I think we'll beat them 2-1.
Goal scorers.
Isaac. And I'm going to go for Miggy.
Ben?
Well, I was speaking to my father-in-law, 84-year-old. I was speaking to him this morning. He's confident of a 0-0 draw. So I'm going to go nil. I'm going to go with that because he's been around longer than I have. So 0-0.
Well, I won't ask for the goal scorers for that one then.
No. That's why I said 0-0. It's much easier that way.
I'll go for 1-1.
So I'll be delighted with any of those
Isaac.
results. I'll be delighted. Yeah, absolutely delighted.
I think your first game, really, you haven't got to lose it, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. We'll probably
Just
will
makes
be a little
sense.
bit cautious. Probably will be a little bit cautious, and it might not be this match everybody hopes for. But again, it's another one of those similar to yesterday, where the result's probably more important than the performance. So to get something out of the game as a minimum would be a good result. And hopefully, Paul, you're right with the 2-1 prediction.
Well, I think what they'll do is the first 10, 15 minutes, they'll just sit back and see what they've got. They'll throw everything up with the first 10, 15. Then if we can soak it up and keep them out, then just try and hit them on the break.
Very good.
And then, of course, after that, we've got a nice little break until the next Premier League game on Sunday. Next Sunday, 4:30 kickoff, I think it is, or against Sheffield United. So we've got a little bit of a break there to get everybody ship-shape for that, because again, that will then become a very important game.
Right, so are you up for doing a show on Wednesday after the AC Milan game, and we'll pick the bones out of that one?
Yeah.
Best time for you is 5 o'clock? 6, 5, 6, 4?
5's better than me, but 5's better for me, but I'm concerned about Paul's overtime.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, you should have that done by 5, so.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what time I'm finished. We'll see what happens.
I'll just keep my whole afternoon free for you lads. Don't you worry about me. I'll just keep myself free, all day, all night. You know me.
Can I just mention the match yesterday when I was at the match? I was in the safe standing bit. I thought it was excellent. I think it's a great little idea. So I was in normally where they have the away fans, obviously they didn't sell all the tickets. So we were in that section where they must have all the safe standing for away fans. So
was it a better atmosphere, Paul?
I was canny, yeah.
Aye.
So
you
Paul,
can sit if you want,
Paul,
unless on the barrier.
Paul, are you old enough to have gone when it was standing before the seats came in? Yeah, you are, aren't you? Right. So is it just a bit?
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Was it just so? Did you feel just like it was? Because we used to stand and we had these concrete bollards. So just a similar type of feeling than that. Is that?
I just remember going to the match in the old days with the smell of Bovril and then feeling like a warm glow on your leg and realise some bloke behind you was pissing on your leg because he couldn't be asked to go to the toilet.
Come on, that's for another.
Well, that was just Rob. That was before the match. That was so. It was the good old days. Yeah, the good old days, like.
So I think it looks like a good idea. And if you've still got your seat there, haven't you, Paul? For when you do get a bit older, you can just sit down and rest your legs.
Oh yeah, I've still got that. Yeah.
Good lad.
Right, lads. Right, great having you on the show. Some good points raised, and we'll do another one on Wednesday night. So excellent, good stuff. And don't forget, boys and girls, if you like listening to us 3 hour thoughts, give a like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. So yes, we'll see us all on Wednesday when myself, Paul, and Len do a Milan review show. So until then, take care, everyone, and we'll see us all later. Bye bye now.